My name is Bobby Grace and I'm a lieutenant with the Hickory Police Department. I'm currently assigned to the Patrol Division and I work in the David Pack District, which is Ridgeview and the south central part of the city. Well, I've been in law enforcement 24 years, and during that time I've noticed that things that I can do at work and away from work can help people in the community. And I began working in law enforcement so that I could reach everybody. And I did notice that there was a large gap in services to the Hispanic community. What I mean by that is we try to meet everybody's needs in the same equal way. But sometimes because of cultural differences and sometimes because of language differences, we can't actually do that as quickly as we can for the general population. And I noticed that a long time ago. And so I've become involved in the Hispanic community through work and also through personal life. I've coached a lot of teams focusing on sports and locations where I could have contact in the community, and I've coached a large number of Hispanic children and tried to mentor them. Through the school systems, I've tried to mentor children and focused on the Hispanic children as well. For approximately 2.5 years, one of the local Hispanic radio stations, every Friday morning for an hour, I would go on with an interpreter because I don't speak Spanish well, and answer questions and deal with legal issues to clear up myths. Because a lot of times I've noticed that there's a lot of myths about police all throughout the United States, but especially in the Hispanic community, the myths were even more incorrect. So I think it's my obligation to give people accurate information. That went on for 2.5 years or so, and it really opened doors for me to be able to go to community meetings and have forums dealing with things like driver's license issues, insurance issues, policing issues, what services we have. And so I still continue to try to do that right now. I'm still actively doing that. I've not found it to be much of a hindrance to me because I think I'm very comfortable in any language circumstance. And if I can have someone who can communicate for me and they can communicate accurately, and they don't have to be a certified interpreter, it's just anybody who can communicate for me, I think that I can get the message from someone speaking to me and I can give them my accurate information back. It's not been any kind of problem for me at all. Well, I believe each officer has to be genuine in their efforts and not just give the effort so that they can be fulfilling an obligation. And I believe that if you're genuine, that people will begin to trust you. And you also have to be very open on positive and negative aspects of policing, because sometimes policing can be negative, but we're very positive as well. And I think that you have to tell both sides of that. I believe that you must be involved with people in a non-enforcement level. I go to a lot of parties, or I go to a lot of gatherings, I go to a lot of church functions in the Hispanic community that don't relate to me as an officer, and I'm not in uniform when I do it. And I think people see me as a person before a police officer, then they can see me as a resource later. And I think the approach is to come more personally, but you have to be genuine when you do it. If you're not genuine and people see you as fake or just doing it because it's your job, I don't think they'll trust you. Yes, I'm in a management development program through the North Carolina Justice Academy, and I'm in a group. We're separated into groups, and we have to pick a topic that we felt was important to law enforcement across the nation. And that topic for my group is the gap in service to Hispanic people by police. And what I mean by the gap is if someone calls the police department and there's a language barrier, then their police service can be delayed. If the officers show up at their house, if there's a lack of language, if there's communication barriers because of language or because of culture, then the officer may not be able to meet the needs as quickly, or it may not be met, their needs may not be met because of these barriers. So what we're trying to address with the project is identify why they're occurring, how often they're occurring, and then what departments can do to break those barriers down to give full and complete service. that we give police service to every person in the community, whether they live here or visiting, no matter who they are or what their background or what their ethnicity is or their culture. So that is actually within our mission statement to do that.
Thank you very much.
Certainly.